Alright, welcome back everyone. We need to have a little conversation about something extremely disappointing that happened over the weekend. See, we were streaming for Calm as part of Jingle Jam 2025. We'd done the first two streams and raised an incredible amount of money, £2,600 plus. I think it's 2,660. That is a huge amount. That is literally a life-saving amount of money. That money helps to fund the helpline that Calm runs. That is huge. But there was supposed to be a third stream, and that was supposed to happen on the Saturday at 7:30, which is the same time as all the others. I then had to move that stream to the Sunday at 7:30, and then it didn't happen at all. And I'm kind of struggling a little bit to not be incredibly disappointed, because I am incredibly disappointed that we didn't end up doing that third and final stream. The fact is, I was unable to do those streams because I was having a migraine, quite a severe one at that. I basically spent 2 days essentially chugging all the painkillers whilst being in darkened rooms and trying not to look at screens, because looking at really anything brighter than, like a dimmed phone screen just made my head hurt. And I was not in a position to be able to stream. When streaming, you kind of need to have a little bit of light, and you also need to engage with people and look at what is happening and read stuff, and I just couldn't do any of that, which meant that we weren't able to do that final stream. Which also means that we weren't able to do the big giveaway that was a kind of big significant part of that stream. There's a Saturnine box, there's a box of 2 knights that we're going to give away along with a spearhead, Farsight, some Element game vouchers. Element provided that Saturnine box and that Farsight and the vouchers as well, along with all the stuff for the kit bash that we were doing as well. So I feel not at all good about the fact that they sent that stuff over for that purpose and we weren't able to actually do that. And just to nip it in the bud in case anyone's thinking this, which I'm sure none of you are, but just in case, no, I'm not going to be keeping those for myself. They're still going to go towards their original purpose. But, I mean, the first thing really, it's not the first thing, we're like 2.5 minutes into this, I think. Are we? Yeah, about 2.5 minutes into this. The main thing is to say thank you for the support for the streams that we were actually able to do. As I said before, well over £2,500 raised, not that far off the original goal of 3,000. That is a huge amount of money going towards suicide prevention. That is a massive thing that you have achieved. I've already said this, but I'm just sitting here making a dumb model. You guys are the ones who are contributing in such an impactful and meaningful way. So thank you to those of you who were able to show up. Thank you to those of you who were able to donate. You literally are saving people through doing that. That being said, there is something of a personal disappointment, because this was the first set of streams for Calm, for Jingle Jam, since I was announced as being a Calm ambassador. Not managing to do all 3 is gutting, honestly. It's one of those things that there is nothing that I can do about it. I just can't do anything about it. If I get hit with a migraine out of nowhere, I have to, take the time to get better. I'm not really capable of doing anything else. But at the same time, the timing of it just sucks. I really, really do not like the fact that it happened on that Saturday and then was still going until the Sunday. I mean, we're on Wednesday now. There's been no videos and no streams for the last couple of days, and that is purely because of the recovery time that this has taken, because it was a really severe one. In fact, I basically had no way of doing anything over the weekend. Monday, I was still feeling nauseous a lot of the day. I managed to record Adeptus Ridiculous. I'm happy that we managed to do that. But then that wiped me out for Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning, I just was completely lethargic and couldn't get anything done. I was absolutely exhausted. And again, the nausea was awful. Just moving around made me feel like I was going to be sick. And that, again, is not a particularly viable position from which to sit and make a video about anything, really. It's only today that I've got to the point where I don't actually feel off. I actually feel normal again. That's rough. I mean, it's rough for me, but it's more rough in the sense of an extreme amount of disappointment for not being able to finish off those 3 streams for Calm. I just want to point out as well, Calm is not like sitting there going, it'd be good if you could finish that off. No, there's none of that. Both Charlie and Michael from Calm, the two guys that I've had the most contact with and who've helped me set up the Jingle Jam stuff, they have been just basically, their side of things is, you just get better and stop thinking about it, it's fine. Which, in theory, should work. In practice, is proven to be a little bit more of a struggle. But it has kind of lit a fire under me in a way, because during the year, I was trying to work out ways to do more stuff for Carmen, to do more streaming for charity, and to just try and fundraise a bit more consistently. And this, in a weird way, has kind of... It's made me think, okay, we need to hit next year. Like, we need to hit the ground running. So, what I'm planning to do... We're not going to try and squeeze in the final stream this year. Instead, what I want to do is kick off next year's fundraising, like, with a big push, a big event. So in January, we will do the kind of final Jingle Jam stream. It won't be called that, obviously, because Jingle Jam is the first 2 weeks of December. But I'll be setting up a campaign whereby we can fundraise each month. So what we do during Jingle Jam, I intend to do during the year as a whole, and then culminate in something a bit bigger, try and get, more people on board, maybe try and just do a ridiculous project in December. But throughout the rest of the year, when it comes to hobbying, I want to dedicate at least one stream a month to doing that with you guys, fundraising for Calm, and we will start that off by doing more kit bashing on the Horrible Tree thing. Might do a couple of streams for the first one, and then see how we go, see whether that's sustainable for the next few months. But what I'm going to do is, January, I will set a date and a time. I will let you guys know well in advance that we are going to be finishing the kit bash. We're going to be doing the giveaway. We are still giving away those boxes. I'm actively in the process of reaching out to other companies to see if I can, see if they would be happy to support a constant or consistent fundraising stream schedule, so that we could do this sort of thing every month. If we could do this sort of thing every month, where we could do some hobbying together, do a giveaway, all in aid of raising funds for Calm, that would be absolutely brilliant. So again, I'm disappointed, but in a way it has made me think, well, I want to make up for it, even though I don't necessarily need to. I also want to make sure that, these boxes do get sent out and you guys do get to participate in that giveaway. But it's made me sort of evaluate how I want to do that and be quite active in trying to get that started. So yeah, again, thank you for tuning in for those streams. Again, I apologise for the fact we weren't able to do the third one. It bugs me, you can probably tell, but next year, we're not going to wait for Jingle Jam. We're going to do something for Jingle Jam, for sure, but we're not going to wait for Jingle Jam. Instead, we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to do a couple of streams in January. We're going to give away those boxes. We're going to see if we can meet that £3,000 goal that we set for Jingle Jam this year. And then from that point on, every month, we are going to be streaming for Calm. And as we go, I'm going to be asking you guys, what else can we do? What video ideas do you have? Or are there things that you think would be good for getting people interested, getting people in the mindset for, supporting a charity in that way? What can we do to basically maximise the reach? When it comes to the streams themselves, do we make more of that a community thing? Do we make that more of almost like a hobby health check-in? Just providing a space for a big group of people to sit down together and just get on with some hobby, have a chat, and, relieve some stress and get some of that escapism going. That's the kind of thing that I'm thinking about, and that's what we're going to be doing next year. I think I'll stop now, because that's a lot of rambling, but hopefully you get what I mean. And, hopefully I will see you for another video, hopefully tomorrow, but I will definitely see you for something in the near future. And just keep an eye out for those new streams in the new year to continue fundraising for Calm. And I'm going to go away now and stop blithering at you. Bye!